Hello, everyone. Oops. Okay, I see Adarsh, Sunita. Hi, Sunita. Hi, Adarsh. Thank you for joining today. Hi, Poonam. Hello, Nishtha. Hi, Drishti. Hi, Jerusha. Hi, Shali. Welcome, everyone. I'm seeing you all, or you are seeing me after a long time now. Hi, Rublin. Thank you for joining. Hello, Jerusha. Thank you for joining today. Hi, Shreja. We're starting our season 2 today, so I'm very excited. And I'm just waiting for a few more of our friends who join us every time and we do Facebook Live together and the Knowledge Happy Hour together. Hi, Shreja. Hi, Pratima. How are you? All right. While everyone is joining, hi, Sandeep. How are you? Everyone is joining. Can I also have my panelists? Yes, good to see you too, Shreja. So, Jacqueline, can you join me and we can get an opportunity to. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, good. And look at the background and your beautiful decor. It just looks so lovely.
Well, I think what time is it here in the US? 10:04 a.m. So it is beautiful out.
Nice. That's wonderful. And there are a lot of people who have come hear you today and they're very excited. So I've been getting a lot of comments since morning that, hey, looking forward to the session. And Jacqueline, as you know, we have been doing this for a very long time. But we thought of doing the Knowledge Happy Hour for like back to back for 15 days. And that was a great, like, we got such amazing response from everyone. So we thought of doing it for 15 days and stopping it. And then everyone was like, no, don't stop. You need to keep going. So today is our season 2, and you are the first speaker of season 2. So welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for
Yes,
inviting me.
thank you. And how's life in the US? How's everything going up there? Just
Well, Americans don't like to be idle very long. We like to get out and and work and play. And I live in Florida, where the rules are a little bit different here. We have opened up one beach that I'm aware of. We've opened up our golf courses, and frankly, it makes me a little bit nervous because I feel that we have not been on lockdown long enough.
right.
We haven't started to see some of the COVID numbers level off.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that people are getting very antsy. And I can understand that because I'm a person who's not at home very much. I like to get
Right.
out and work. I'm usually on an airplane or I'm speaking. But I believe that we have to do what we have to do right now.
Right.
So I'm just happy being at home.
Right. No, and as a responsible citizens, I think we all need to just do our part. And that part is very simple, just to stay back at home. So I understand where you're coming from, and that's great what you're doing. And sharing those lovely videos of your beautiful garden, I just look forward to them. And also, I believe you are doing Facebook Lives on regular basis.
I
So
just started doing them. Yes.
yes. So that's great. If all our viewers who are watching us today, you can actually go on Jacqueline's page and she's bringing in some really amazing speakers. So you can watch those videos also. So we have a lot of people joining us. Hi, Rahul. Hi, Rohan. Thank you for joining. Hello, Rachna. Um, Rohan is saying, after all, Florida is the sunshine state of the US.
Yes, it is. That's what Florida is known for, our
Yes,
sunshine.
sunshine. Yes. So we will start with our session. So I'm just going to welcome everyone today once again. Thank you for your immense support and your overwhelming response for season one. We had to bring season two to you, and what a fabulous start with Jacqueline Whitmore with us today. So I'll just give you all a little introduction. Although Jacqueline was with us in the month of December, and a lot of you got the chance to hear us. She presented at the AICI India chapter event, and that was phenomenal. And everyone just loved it. I think we all loved the exercise that you made us do, which was so great. And today she's with us on the Knowledge Happy Hour season two as a guest and a presenter. A little bit about Jacqueline. She's America's foremost authority when it comes to business etiquette. She's an author, she's a certified speaking professional, and a certified etiquette expert. And she has worked with thousands of clients because of her experience, well earned reputation for being an exceptional trainer. She's someone who's truly committed to bringing out the best in people, creating extraordinary results. It was in 1998 Jacqueline founded the Protocol School of Palm Beach, which is a premier business etiquette training company. And over the years, she has taught seminars to thousands of men and women all over the world. Some of her clients are Deloitte, Ernst& Young, Price, Waterhouse Coopers, and Ritz-Carlton, among many other. She's written two best-selling books, Business Class Etiquette Essential for Success at Work and Poise for Success, Mastering the Four Qualities That Distinguish Outstanding Professionals. Jacqueline is also a popular guest on radio and television shows. She has been featured or quoted in hundreds of national and international newspapers and magazines. What I see every day when I pick up or open Facebook is Jacqueline is doing some research on her next article or just preparing for her next interview. So she's always, and as she said, that she's always on the go, always at the airport. So she has been actually traveling all across the world. In fact, before coming to India, she was in China, and she also presented at the Beijing chapter, right? Is that correct, Jacqueline?
Correct. Yes.
And how I met Jacqueline was in 2016. She doesn't remember that very well. But the first time that I met Jacqueline was in 2016 at the first AICI Asia conference that happened in Hong Kong, and Jacqueline was the speaker over there, and that was the first time I attended her session, and I was just mind blown. So much information, such a power packed session, and since then that day I've been following her, and we met again in Mexico, and
Yes.
we became really good friends. We danced together and had a lot of fun. So, yes, we know each other for a very long time. And yes, again in Chicago. And finally, Jacqueline came to India, which was her a dream for a very long time. Is that correct, Jacqueline?
That is correct. And I'm so grateful for your hospitality. You and Ashwin welcomed me and invited me into your home. And I was able to enjoy the culture and the food and everything, the sights and the smells and the sounds and everything.
That's true. You had a great time, actually, and it was a pleasure to have you here. Now, Jacqueline, we all are in this situation, which is very strange nowadays. And everyone, if I talk to somebody, the first thing they all ask me is that how you're coping. Coping is the new word. Like nobody asks how you're doing. Everyone just asks how you're coping. So means I would actually want to start with that. That how are you coping?
Well, my last day of work was March 14th. So I haven't worked officially since March 14th. So I'm having to find other ways of staying busy, to stay motivated, to stay productive. And I would have to say the first 3 weeks, I felt like I was on vacation. And then reality set in. Then I felt like, oh, I'm really not going anywhere. I really shouldn't be going anywhere. And I live with my two dogs, and I do have a wonderful significant other who I do see all the time. And I just felt like, thank goodness I'm not by myself,
Right.
because I really feel for those people who live alone. And I do have a lot of girlfriends and male friends who live alone, and I know it's especially hard for them. So even though I may have a beautiful garden and I have two beautiful dogs and I have a special person in my life, basically I'm home all by myself, and it can get a little lonely, to tell you the truth, a little bit lonely. And so when people say, "Oh, I'm doing just fine," well, I believe that we have to have a positive mindset, which I'll talk a little bit about in today's program. But I also feel like we have to acknowledge what we are feeling.
Right.
Are we feeling sad? Are we feeling lonely? Are we feeling like we want to be productive? And I know most of our audience, we like to work.
Yes.
Um, many of us are wired to
Right,
work.
right. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's very well said. And that's the topic for today. What Jacqueline is going to talk about today. And we are going to do something little different. This time, it's not about, making a presentation. In season two, we are trying something different. And this session is all about, Jacqueline is here. She is going to answer your questions. So ask her anything that is related to today's topic, which she said she wants to talk about, and she will be talking about all the ways that you could be productive, and especially in your home, literally in your PJs. How to be productive in your PJs is the topic for today. Ask your questions. We will be taking audience question during the session, and that's what we'll be going to discussing today. So first question to you, which is going to come from me, Jacqueline. Look at me, I'm wearing a blazer right now, and that's my way of coping, because if I don't really wear my, business suit, or if I'm not really wearing my, office clothes, I can't really be productive. So when you said how to be productive in PJs, and my question immediately was, is that really possible?
There are a lot of people who are wearing their PJs all day long. In fact, I thought about coming on the camera wearing my pajama top, but I thought, no, I can't do that, because that really isn't me.
Right.
And it's funny that you asked that question, because that is my first tip, is get up and get dressed. And we work in the image and etiquette industry, and image is so important to us. And we feel better when we actually get up and get dressed and put in some effort. Now, I may not look like this
Right.
all the time, but what I am finding is that since I've started doing these Facebook Live sessions, I have to put makeup on. I have to do something with my hair, which, by the way, needs color right now. But I can't do anything about that. But what I find is, and there may not be any scientific evidence to back this up, but what I find is that when I get up and get dressed and put a little effort into my appearance, I feel better and I feel like I'm gearing up for something. And so when I sit down, I feel like doing a video, because I say to myself, oh, well, I've spent all this time doing hair and makeup. I just finished a Facebook Live. Why don't I do a video on social distancing etiquette? Why don't I do a video on video conferencing etiquette? So I try to maximize my appearance in ways that will make me more productive.
That's wonderful. So, your number one tip to everyone. So, I'm doing something right to wear my clothes, which are office clothes. And that's your number one tip to everyone, that dress up, right? Is that correct?
Right. You don't have to dress up in pearls and a blazer if you don't want to, but I would suggest get out of your pajamas
Right.
and at least put on a color. Color is also, now I do know there is some scientific evidence behind color and how it makes us feel. Pink, I'm wearing hot pink. Whenever I wear this color, it makes me feel happy. It
Yes.
makes me feel more energetic. I oftentimes will teach in a black blazer and a pink blouse underneath because it gives me that energy.
Right.
So I would suggest that you get out of your dull clothes and add some color.
Right, absolutely. No, that's wonderful. So, two tips have already come, which is dress up and add some colors over there. What are the other ways, Jacqueline, that you're keeping yourself productive? Like, if you can just share some more.
Well, I actually learned this second tip in India.
We are a colorful country, right?
Well, for those of you who don't know why I initially went to India, is I attended a retreat at the Vedanta Institute, which is 3 hours. Is it north, south of Mumbai?
East, towards the
East,
east, yeah.
east. Okay, it's in the hills. Anyway,
Yes.
I was there a week, and we we woke up 4:30 a.m. every morning. Now, you didn't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. The bell rang at 4:30, but I usually got up around 5:30. Now, I am not a morning person like that. I mean,
Right,
7 o'clock is usually the time I get up.
right,
But what I learned at Vedanta is the most productive time of anyone's day is between 4:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m.
wow,
Why? Because the mind hasn't started ingesting all of the stress. The
right,
mind is the most idle and the most absorbent between that 2 hour window. Now, if you're not a morning person, and that's okay, so maybe you get up just 30 minutes earlier and you just do nothing but read. Just sit in bed and read,
mhm,
or lie in bed and meditate or pray or whatever your thing is. But tip number two is you get up, try to get up at the same time every day, whether it's 7 a.m., 8 a.m., but try not to sleep until, noon and then
right,
go to bed at 2 a.m. because, unless, of course, that's what your work schedule.
right.
But I would recommend that you maximize those morning hours because you'll feel
Right.
better and you'll feel like you've accomplished something.
That's that's really nice tip, and there is a scientific evidence behind that. What you just said, that get up at the same time, because your biological clock is basically linked to that. It's synced to you getting up at the same time. So when you stop doing that, that's your mind telling you that no, nothing is normal. Something is changing, and every now it's not the normal thing that you're doing. You're getting up at a different time, and that can also maybe lead to a little bit of anxiety in some people if you stop doing what you would normally do. Isn't it true?
It is true. And one of the things that I don't do, I don't turn on the television first thing in the morning. I
Yes.
don't I don't listen to the news first thing in the morning. What I do is I get up, and usually the house is quiet, and I'll get up and I'll have my tea or my coffee and I'll feed the dogs, and then I'll have some quiet time, and then maybe later in the morning, if I want, I can turn on the news, or I can um, listen to the radio or something like that. But I try to use those that first hour to just ease into the day.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's actually very necessary. And this is something that I made Ashwin stop doing. He would get up and just read the news every day. And I was like, stop doing that. That's the worst thing that you could do. So, yes, that is very important to just take that 1 hour. And look at that, means we have the first question from the audience from Ashwin only, and he is asking how to reduce distraction at home when working. And just before you answer that question, Jacqueline, I would like to announce to all our audience that this is a session where you can ask, you don't have to wait towards the end. So Jacqueline is going to answer your questions about how to be productive, and she's an etiquette expert, so you want to ask something related to etiquette, related to productivity, working from home. She has been doing a lot of lives about that, so please take this opportunity to ask more questions. So I'll repeat the question to you, Jacqueline. Ashwin is asking how to reduce distraction at home when working. So over to you.
I know that some of our viewers have small children, and that's very difficult, especially when you're staying home with a spouse or partner and children, and everyone needs something. It's that makes things even more difficult and more stressful. So I would just suggest that you have boundaries. You set up office hours, which was one of my tips on my list here, that you establish regular office hours and let everyone in the family know that just for this 2 hour time period, you'd like to get these calls done. I have seen people do conference calls in their closet. I've seen people do conference calls in their bathroom because that's the only quiet place that they can find in the house. Whatever works for you during this time. I think that it's important to let your family know that if you have conference calls or you have meetings that you have to attend to on the phone, that you just that everyone give each other that respect.
Right,
And again, I know this is really hard for people with small children at
right.
home because the children need our constant attention. And so maybe somebody in our audience can give us a suggestion for what's working for them.
Right. Actually, that's a great idea. So, all of you who have small kids at home, what are you doing to actually, like avoid any distraction when you're trying to work? Please do put in the comments. And coming back to your first two topics and first two tips that you gave, Jacqueline. So, two of our audiences replied. So, others said that get up and get dressed. I love that. So, he is loving the tip that you have given to get up in the morning and get dressed. Farina says that putting on makeup makes me feel more productive. So yes, that is true, and I also can vouch for that it is really something that you have put in the effort of doing things. Why not just get done with a couple of more things also? So it just puts you in that zone altogether. um, Shreja, on your second tip, which you said that, take that time, take that moment in the morning. So Shreja is replying and she said, I have started praying and listening to audiobook at that time. Isn't it wonderful?
Yes, yes, and that was one of my tips is learn something new. This
Mm-hmm.
is a time where if you're going to look at the positive, look at it this way. If you have the extra time, take a class online, learn a different language. What I'm doing is I'm learning all about technology. I'm learning Zoom skills. I'm learning Facebook Live skills. I am learning how to set up my tripod and put my iPhone on my tripod and do my own home videos. I'm learning something new as well. So use this time to increase your knowledge. And that's the other thing. When we go back into the workforce, for some of us, I know some of our viewers might be unemployed right now, and you might be looking for employment after this life, when life gets back to normal.
Right.
So start learning a new skill now to make yourself more marketable.
Right.
Another thing that you can do is for those of you who are image consultants, you might want to think about doing some consulting with people over Zoom and
Right.
helping them with their appearance, helping them with their public speaking skills, with their resume writing skills. So you can be of service to
Right.
other people. You can be a mentor to
Yes.
people.
That's true. And in fact, this is something that even I say that you are mentor to people in regular life and, everyday life also. How is it any different? The only difference over here is that you are also in the same boat, but your position as a mentor remains the same. You are still a mentor. So utilize that time, maybe put yourself together and just get back into that mentorship role. Yes, because
Right,
that's,
and this is all about service too. It's
yes,
about giving back,
right.
and that's another thing that I learned at Vedanta, that um, we've all heard the word karma. Hard when you can't go out and do your volunteer work because you can't be in touch with people. But think of all the young people who are graduating from university and high school this year who could benefit from your knowledge, who would love to be mentored by you. Or maybe there's an older person, an elder in
Right,
your community who would just love to have you read to them.
right,
Maybe
right.
that's just something that you do. That's your talent, just reading to people,
Reading to
reading
people.
to children.
Yes, I think that's such a great idea, and something as simple as that can bring so much joy to someone. Uh, we are so you asked from the audience, and we are now getting like these tons and storm of questions for you. So, but to for your question that you asked, that how's parents are actually dealing with small kids at home. How are they doing? So Rachna replied that she and her husband take turns to take care of their 2-year-old toddler and plan their meetings or work as per their own turns. So they work out their schedule as per their turn. And yeah, they take turns to take care of the kids. So that's really nice, Rachna. Very good understanding between you and your husband, I believe. And another one this is from Dr. Rashmi Rathore, and she's saying letting your children do their favorite things like painting, playing any hobby simultaneous to your work hours. So it's a way of occupying them happily and not disturbing you so much. So she is syncing her work hours and their favorite activity all together. So those are really good example. And couple of them I saw online, that there was this parents that they have set up this entire obstacle course in the entire house itself, and they are playing these amazing boost up music for them, and the kids are supposed to do these obstacle course. And the kids were just taking turns after turn and just doing the obstacle course, and they were the parents were busy doing their own stuff. So people are coming up with such productive ideas. It's amazing. Now, moving on, there's a lot of questions. So maybe I'll just ask a few of them. And this one question is about the news bit that you said, that do not check the news. So Jerusha is asking, would you advise not even to check news before sleeping at night?
Oh my goodness, don't do it before you sleep at night. Please don't watch the news before you sleep at night. That is the worst time.
Yes.
I would rather see you turn it on first thing in the morning versus the last thing in the evening.
Right.
So that is, that's, I do know that there is scientific evidence that says that when you fall asleep with the television on, your mind, your subconscious mind is still ingesting that.
Right.
And if you're watching something negative, then you're feeding your mind and your body and your spirit with this negativity. So please don't watch your news at night.
Right. And that could also add to nightmares.
Well, I don't know anybody right now who's sleeping well, except my sister. She says she's sleeping really well, but she has a very physical job. She rides horses for a living. She trains horses. So she's out there from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, physically riding horses. So she's exhausted. But other than my sister, I don't know anyone who's not having crazy dreams and who's not waking up at least once every night.
Yes.
I tend to wake up around 2 in the morning, and then I try to go back to sleep, and I lie there and lie there and lie there. But the thing that I have learned, when you are lying in bed trying to go to sleep, try to clear your mind and concentrate on your breathing.
Right.
Just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And when these thoughts start coming in, just let the thoughts go, but concentrate just on your breath.
Right.
And you'll find that it's easier to go back to sleep if you're not thinking about all the day's activities and all the negativity in the world.
Wonderful. I think this is something that we remember. I remember discussing about something about breathing after you came back from Vedanta, and you shared few insights. So this is something that did you learn from in Vedanta, and you've been practicing till now?
Sometimes we just forget to breathe. I did that was reinforced to me when I went to
Right,
Vedanta, but I have heard that for a very long time.
right.
And now that I'm older, I'm starting to listen to all the wise people who've been telling me these things. You know, when we're young, we're like, no, I don't have to do that. But now I feel like I really have to start doing it.
True, very true. So now we are getting a lot of etiquette questions from our audience, and this is from Nidhi. And Nidhi is asking what kind of etiquette we can teach to children age group 2 to 5 year old during this lockdown.
Well, don't teach them handshaking at this time. I've been getting a lot of comments or questions from the media about, in fact, I just did an interview with the Boston Globe a couple of days ago about is the handshake dead? And I don't know. I don't know. But I will say one of the things that I would definitely teach children during this time, especially, is how to write a thank you note, how to
Right,
be grateful. And that was one of my tips that I have here on my list is be grateful for what you do have and start teaching children at a very young age how to write thank you notes to their friends and to their relatives, and to start writing down all the things that they're grateful for so they get in that mindset of gratitude. I
right.
have this little post-it note on my bathroom mirror that says gratitude on it. I have, look at this, I have on my computer screen right here,
That's so
gratitude.
cute. Yes, yes.
I keep these little post-it notes in various places in my house, so it forces me to refocus on
Right,
the things that I do have versus the things that I don't have. So
right.
I would definitely start with that with the children.
That's such a nice tip, actually. Means I think from children, and they are at this very impressionable age, they learn everything that you teach them at this point of time and pick it up really well. So just to learn to be grateful of what you have is just amazing tip. I think, yes, Nidhi, that's a great starting point, and you must have got your answer. Moving on to the next question that I'm getting from Poonam, and this is also about etiquette. What etiquette need to be followed? And I am sure you got these many times from many people. What etiquette need to be followed while attending long official video calls from home?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question because these video calls can go on and on and on. So I think it's important for the host to establish start times and finish times. And what takes the most time is to keep everybody on track. And a lot of people will talk over one another, people will interrupt one another, and that is counterproductive to staying on track. So we have to learn to respect each other's time and respect each other's opinions. And if you don't agree with what someone says, then politely disagree and state why. I think it's just important to stay on track. And if you can't stay the entire time, let your host know that you're going to have to leave at a certain time so that you just don't disappear. We've seen
Right,
so many people now on video conferencing just disappear, just
right.
leave
Just
and
leave.
not say goodbye. It was nice to see everybody.
Right.
I
Yeah,
hope that's helpful.
that is really helpful. And when you said this, I actually experienced this in recent time only, that people just disappeared from the call, and I was like, hello, I was just saying something. So it just feels a little, that disrespectful, or maybe that, people came, they just did their thing and then just left. So entire thing of gratitude or being grateful for somebody's time, or being there to get things done. Everyone is trying to do their best. So it doesn't take that much time to just say thank you and thank you for your time, and maybe a fraction of a second. So a good tip. And all the answers that you have given for the question, Jerusha said, thank you so much. That answered my need. And Nidhi also said, thanks. That sounds really good. Thank you, Jacqueline, when you gave the gratitude and starting with the gratitude tip to Nidhi. So another bit, which this is coming from Ocean and going back to how to keep their kids occupied. And this is something, maybe I'll share the link with you. Ocean has a, I think, 4-year-old daughter, and she started this on her Facebook page. It's so much fun because we all watch it in ISIM. She started giving her daughter these tasks of, how to fold her clothes, or how to pack or unzip her bag or something, or make her own banana smoothie. And they're so cute. And every day she would just give her one task to do, and her daughter would just do it so well. So it's really nice to watch, and really good way to keep her occupied. Now, her question, she's asking a question that she has still not started to read. Any suggestion for her, for them, apart from the thank you note? So she is not reading or not interested in writing. Her daughter is not interested in writing, so she would not do the thank you note. So any other tip that you can give?
So she wants to teach her daughter manners, and
Yes.
she's not able to read or write at this time. One of the things that I believe children should learn to do is to socialize. And just because we're in our homes right now doesn't mean that we have to block ourselves from the rest of the world. This is really a good time for us to socialize on Zoom, on Skype, on Facebook Live. And this is something that children can participate in, and it teaches them the social skills to look people in the eye, to speak clearly, to smile. And if you put them on camera, they may enjoy it more than you think they will. And it might be a good time for them to talk to their grandparents or their aunts or their
Mm-hmm.
uncles or their their friends on Zoom, and it gives them that opportunity to practice their video conferencing skills, because this is not going to go away. I
Yes.
believe this is the future.
Yes. This.
And so why
Yes.
not teach a 4-year-old how to look good on camera?
Yes, absolutely. This is the new normal. So she should, I think. And Ocean, I hope that answer your question. And maybe we look forward to more videos of your daughter, looking presentable on a video conferencing. So that's a great advice, Jacqueline. And I'm now being swamped with all the questions. I'm just going to quickly take each one of them. So Rena is asking, and she's saying hi to you, and she's asking how to be productive even if you're facing failure in life and feeling sad, and how to get back to track. And she continues and she says, like, I have faced today, I wasted my money in advertising, nothing good is happening. How do I get productive again when I'm feeling or facing failure?
Well, I think that this is a very important question, because there are so many of us right now who are feeling sad or defeated or depressed or anxious. And I believe that we should acknowledge those feelings.
Yes.
Just what you see on Facebook, I call it fake book. Because people are going to post their happiest photos. They're going to try to paint a picture that life is a certain way, but life isn't always that way. So I would say be gentle with yourself. And if you are feeling sad, then feel sad. One of the tips on my sheet that I wanted to mention was take naps, relax, rest. This is a time for you to take care of you and to do some self nurturing. For example, I can't get out and get my nails done. So the other day I gave myself a pedicure. I did my best. I can't say it's great, but it made me feel good. It gave
Yes.
me just something to do for myself. Um, every afternoon at Vedanta, I keep coming back to this because I learned so much from my trip to India. Between the hours of 2 and 4, we could read, we could sleep, we could rest, we could do whatever we wanted. And I took an hour every single day to take a nap, and I felt like $1,000,000. It was like it rested my mind and made me feel more relaxed. And just try not to beat yourself up right now at what of what you're not doing or not accomplishing, because we all are feeling. I mean, the other day, I'll be very honest, I believe it was Friday night, I just felt like I really want to be with my friends. In fact, I'm leaving today, this afternoon, to go be with my sister because I miss being with my family.
Right.
And I know that we are all experiencing a sense of loss right
Yes.
now. We're either losing uh, our jobs or friends, or there's that sense of loss.
Right.
So it's our time to just nurture ourselves. So that's my advice to her, is to take care of you right now.
That's beautiful. And I think I would also start doing that. And everyone should do that, not only just Rena, but self care and being gentle on yourself is something that we all can actually begin with. Shreja is asking how to keep up the productivity level throughout the day because we are at home. So it's just, spikes up and have different time zone, but how to keep it productive throughout the day.
Well, you don't have to be ultra productive all day long.
Yeah.
No one's telling you to be productive from morning, noon, and night. Just do what you can. For example, yesterday, what did I do yesterday? Oh, yesterday was National Tea Day.
Oh, I
In
saw your post. Yes, such a
Yes,
beautiful one.
thank you. So I got out my smartphone and I put it on the iPod and I sat down in my living room and I did a 15-minute video, and that's the only thing I accomplished yesterday. Oh, and then I uploaded it on YouTube. For me, that was a huge accomplishment. That was something that I wouldn't have time to do normally.
Yes.
One thing made me feel like, wow, okay, I checked that off my list. Now I can cook dinner.
And it was such a nice video. Means I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was such a beautiful video. So good means I think accomplishing and taking one step at a time or one day at a time. As I keep saying to people, you can't master your whole life in one day. So master a day or that day and then just keep doing it over and over again. So very good advice. Just nobody's telling you, you are the boss right now, so just just be productive when you want to be productive. Next question is from Anita, and she is I think it's one question. Yes, it is one question. So Anita is asking, the situation of staying at home can bring sense of loneliness without human touch. I think you just touched upon it. So how to deal with it? It's a common question that is coming from her friend right now. And in India, we are in complete lockdown. So we can't really go and meet our friends or, just be with each other. So how do you suggest that we go about this?
Can you go out and get exercise once
No,
a day? You're not
no,
allowed to go out and get exercise
no, we
at
are
all.
not allowed to go out of our homes right now. If we go, the cops will catch us and put us back or put some
Wow.
hundred.
See, we need to be doing what you're doing.
You have seen the population of Mumbai. If we are allowed to do all of that, you can imagine what will happen in this country. It will be chaos. So we
It would be
cannot.
chaos, absolutely, because you have so many people.
Yes.
At least we can go out and I can walk my dogs and I can take a walk or go for a bicycle ride. But I can only imagine how lonely it must be, and it must seem like the walls are just coming in and caving in on you. And there's only so much television that one can watch. There are so many books that one can read, and then it's like, okay, now what do I do?
Yes. Yes.
um, so that must be extremely difficult, and I feel so bad about that. Um, so what was the question? How to conquer that loneliness when you can't have
Yes.
that human touch, that human
Yes.
interaction? Well, one of the things that I've been doing every single morning, now I do go out, I walk my dogs. I have to walk
Yes.
my dogs.
Yes.
But one of the things that I do while I'm walking my dogs is I always have my phone with me and my earbuds with me, and I call one friend a day. And it's usually someone I haven't talked to in a very long time, someone
Hmm.
who I wouldn't normally call. Like
Right.
I will always call my sister or my best friend, but it's usually somebody that I haven't spoken to in a very long time.
Yes.
And everybody's home right now. So it's a really good time for you to reach out, and even though you might not be able to physically touch them, you can touch their heart, they can touch your heart. And I would recommend to this person to call, maybe even make a list. And that's one of the tips that I have here on my sheet is make lists. So today I'm going to call my aunt, tomorrow I'm going to call my cousin, and that might be a good way for you to keep that social level uh, higher than you normally would.
Yeah, that's a good advice. I will start doing this. Like all these people, and another important part that you said to people you would normally not call because they were not there in your regular life, and then suddenly you'll have these new group of people. So it will be new energies, new conversation, and that would just maybe help in beating that loneliness that you must be feeling. So I'm going to make my list tomorrow onwards. So very good advice, Jacqueline, and I hope Anita, you and your friend got that answer. The next question, Rohan is saying he's first of all thanking you for the encouragement and he's loving the session. Now, what he wants to ask is that while marketing an etiquette coaching service, how to respond to people who consider that it's unnecessary and take the concept of etiquette coaching personally.
Oh, I think etiquette is needed more now than ever. And one of the things that I have that I'm going to start doing is contacting some of my top clients
Hmm.
and offering them a complimentary 30-minute conference call etiquette session, and
Yes.
teaching them about how to look good on Zoom, how to look good on Skype, and offering it on a complimentary basis, just 30 minutes. You could
Right.
even do 20 minutes if you
Right.
want, but it is a service that you're providing to them so that when life does get back to normal, they're going to think of you first. Because again, it's that law of karma that
Yes,
what you give out will come back to you. And
that's true.
so that's why all these things that I'm listing, calling friends, writing notes, offering mentoring services, your advice. These are all things that when you put that out in the universe, that goes into your karma bank, and it's going to fill up, fill up, fill up. And then all of a sudden, when life gets back to normal, you're going to be rewarded and opportunities are going to come to you.
It's true. And I'm just so happy now suddenly that I've been building with this knowledge happy hour, this entire bank of karma. And I
Oh,
hope that it comes
absolutely.
back. Yes.
Because think about how many people, I mean, you're helping so many people on this call are learning from you, they're learning from me, they're learning from each other. And
It's true.
oftentimes when we just have an opportunity to sit down for 30 minutes or an hour and learn, it it
Yes.
it, it does, it builds our confidence.
That's true. Very true. So, yay, doing something right.
Absolutely.
Okay, Rachna is asking now, you mentioned about etiquette for social distancing. So, will you please elaborate on that? Because everyone is talking about it. It's the new thing. So, and you are the expert. Please go
Oh boy.
over to you.
That is a hot topic here in the United States, and people are not all practicing social distancing. Whenever we go to the grocery store, we have arrows in the aisles that say you can only go in this direction on this in this aisle, and then you can only go in this direction. People are not following those rules. I'm telling you, Americans are very, very stubborn. I go to the grocery store and people are not even wearing masks. It is
Right.
frightening. It is so frightening. So, I had an incident yesterday where I went into a store and this man got a little bit too close, and I like to keep my 6 foot or more distance.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of saying something to him and making him feel bad, he probably wasn't even aware of it. I had to step aside. I
Right.
had to create more space between
Mm-hmm.
us. I had to um, I needed to be aware of, and I wore a mask. He was not wearing a mask.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, he was
It's
not wearing.
not compulsory there in the US as of now because it's been made compulsory here.
No,
Oh
I'm
my
telling
God.
you, it's so bad. It's so bad. Maybe in New York City, where it's a hot spot, but not here. And I even saw an 80-year-old man in the grocery store. He was an elderly man. He wasn't even wearing a mask. So it's it's very interesting. So what I would do in the in terms of social distancing, if someone got too close and I felt like they were really too close, I would just step back
Mm-hmm.
myself, or I would say, I hope you don't mind, but I don't want to put you at risk. So I'm going to step back. So
Mm-hmm.
I always make it sound like it's me, not you, it's me.
That's a good thing and a good advice on social distancing because it and this happened when we were just about to go in lockdown and it was announced even before that we need to follow social distancing. And I was at the supermarket and trying to get stuff and there was nobody was following it and it was driving me insane. But I wish I knew what to do at that point of time and you would have given me the tip. But now I think that yes, it was as simple as just, telling them that I don't want to put you at risk and stepping back. It was as simple as that.
Are
So
you all still allowed to go out and get groceries?
yes, now, but we like the stores actually have implemented that 6 foot distance. So you're supposed to stand in your box within the circle, which are 6 feet apart any which ways. So,
And
six
that
meter
must be
apart.
hard in India because you have a lot of people in India.
That's
Wow.
what.
Are
And
people honoring that pretty much?
in some places, yes, in some places, no. So, day before yesterday or last week, actually, Ashwin and I were picking up groceries, and I looked at the line, and this is a place where I have never seen anyone following lines. So, one of the things I told him was that one thing that will come out of this entire situation is that people will know, at least follow a little bit or get little bit better in how to stand in queues, because that there was no concept of queues in India. So I think people are getting a little bit better with that. So Jacqueline, just reading out all the comments because you have been getting such amazing beautiful comments from the audience and the question and the answers that are you giving. So Ocean, who spoke about her 4-year old daughter who cannot read and write, she said yes, I'll make her do video calls. And thank you so much. It was really helpful. And she enjoys talking a lot. So she's saying thank you so much. Also, Shilpa is laughing on your comment of Facebook is fake book. So she found it hilarious. Charlie says that Jacqueline, you talk straight from your heart and she's loving the session. And Sunita is in agreement with you. Yes, what goes around come back around. So on your topic of karma. So even Anita also resonate with that and see she said that well said about karma. I totally agree with you. So these are some of the things. And to Reena, you said that you should relax. So she's really happy with the answer and she says so I should start relaxing. I should relax and start again all over. So they all are kind of in sync and are loving your answers. Just there is one more question, and this is there are two parts to it, which I'll quickly ask. So this is from Adarsh, and he is asking, any tips to be relevant and let more people know about your services? And the second part, actually, there are four parts of this question. So I'll read out the first the entire question to you, and then break it up. So he's asking, any tips to be relevant and let more people know about your services? Will establishing a bond between media houses help? And do you work closely with magazine? How does it work out? Would love to hear it from horse's mouth. So that's his question.
So how to stay relevant? Right now, this is how you and I are staying relevant. We are on video. You are doing these Facebook Live broadcasts. This is so important for anyone in business to start communicating through video conferencing. I know it sounds like a lot to try to do social media at this time. I talked to a friend the other day. He said, I'm just so tired of doing social media. But it does keep you top of mind. So Instagram, if that's your thing, then do more Instagram. Take more pictures. Right now, I'm just taking pictures of the food that I'm cooking because that's all I'm doing is cooking all day long. So I am posting a lot of pictures of that. I am posting more videos of how-to videos.
Right.
These are ways of staying relevant right now. So utilize this time that you have. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a fancy lighting kit. You can use your smartphone, and that's all you need, really.
Yes, very true. And the other part of his question that he says that, will helping or establishing a bond between media houses or magazine, how does it work out? So he's trying to understand maybe how does it work, because you write so much and you get called by so many and get featured in so many media on channels or newspapers and magazines. So how does that work out? I think he wants to know a little bit about that.
Well, I would recommend that you don't spend any money on advertising right now,
Yes.
because advertising is not a sure thing. What I would recommend that you spend time working on your website and updating your website. And when the time is right and money does start coming in, then you can pay someone to update that website. But in the meantime, you might want to start establishing some new products, new services, because everything's going virtual now.
Right.
So for example, what I'm doing, and I'll answer the media question in a minute, but I do want to get to this because I think this is relevant to our audience. One of the things that I'm doing, instead of train the trainers in person, I'm going to be putting together a virtual train the trainer package. I'll be putting together more webinars, and all these things will have to go on my website. So that's what I'm going to be prioritizing. I'm thinking right now of ways to bring in income. And
Hmm.
that's first and foremost survival. We have to survive financially. So, what are some ways to bring in income? Advertising is giving money away with
Yes.
no return on your investment.
Right.
Hiring a publicity agent is giving money away because you have no guarantees. So,
Right.
how do you attract the media? Well, you can attract the media by writing articles. If you have a blog, you can put them on your blog. You can contact websites that take submissions, and you can submit your articles to these various websites. You can blog for other people. But I would definitely say keep your money in your pocket.
It's true.
Don't spend any money right now because
That's true.
times are really uncertain right now. So just spend time thinking of ways to make money, not to spend money.
That's very critical advice. And Adarsh, if you missed out the first part where I gave you the introduction of Jacqueline, she started in 1998. And I also mentioned that, whenever she is not training, she's not traveling for work, you open Facebook and you'll find a post from Jacqueline where she's researching about a new topic and she's writing a new article. And it is not necessary by a magazine. She must be just doing research for her own article or maybe for her next book or next training session. So one of the most important thing that I see Jacqueline doing, and I really admire that, is that she's always investing into creating the expertise, and she's always investing time and energy and being more productive in that area. And that's where maybe, and you can tell me if I'm not wrong here, Jacqueline, that because of that continuous and putting so much work into building up that expertise, that's where the media houses also come back to her, because she has written so much, because she has talked about so much and written so many books. That's why the media come back and sees her as the person of authority in that field. Is that correct, Jacqueline?
That is correct. And it's there isn't one thing that I'm doing. It's a culmination of many different things. But what I will say is to our audience this: my number one marketing tool is my website. So you want to make sure that your website works, that people can find you when they put your name in the search engines, that your name does come up under your particular industry. And if it doesn't, then it's time to look at your search engine optimization tools. The second most important marketing tool for me is my newsletter. I have been writing a newsletter for more than 15 years. It's absolutely free. If you go to my website, which is etiquetteexpert.com, you can sign up for my newsletter, and I produce these tips and I send them out, and I do videos, and I write inspirational things and share snippets of my life. In fact, my last newsletter, I shared some pictures of my trip to India. People
India.
loved it. They loved it
Yes.
because you not only have to show people your professional side, but I also believe you need to show people a bit of your personal side, because we all do business with people we believe, like, and trust. I call it the BLT factor. They must believe us, like us, and trust us. So how do people like and trust us? They have to know you as a human being, not just as this successful professional. That's fine too, but if you have a combination of both, then people will want to know more about you.
BLT factor. I'm going to remember that. It's like a BLT sandwich.
Yes, I
That's
love.
yes. All right. I think we are reaching to the end of our session. So, Jacqueline, you said that you have a list. So, if you want to just quickly, just tell us few things that are there on the list, and you want to talk about how to be productive. Quick, 3, 4 things that you want to share with us.
Sure. So I'll just do a recap. And this is my top 10. My top
Okay.
10 list is
Okay.
uh, get up and get dressed in the morning, get up at the same time, learn something new every day, try to improve your knowledge.
Yes.
Exercise if you can, even though you may be in your house, you can still put on a video and do some stretches. If
Right.
nothing else, if exercise is not your thing, please do some stretches.
Right.
And that's really important, especially first thing in the morning. Socialize, stay social, stay connected with people, make lists to remind yourself of all the things you've accomplished. You can cross things off your list, so that makes you feel productive. um, eat eat well. I didn't talk about that, but I love to eat well. But
Yes.
we're eating a lot of comfort foods
Right.
now, and I'm eating way too many potato chips. So I probably should cross that off my list. I probably shouldn't be eating that. Keep regular office hours, like our friend said. She watches her children at a certain time, and then her husband watches children at a
Yes.
certain time. Take naps, develop new products if you have to. But bottom line is be grateful and stay
Yes.
positive. I know it's hard for a lot of us right now, but try your best to stay positive. Put sticky notes around your house like I do. Be
Yes.
grateful, gratitude.
Gratitude. Those are wonderful top 10 lists, and I hope everyone got that. And if not, this is on Facebook, so you can come back and just listen to it all over again, make a note of it, and it's just amazing to just get these 10 tips, which are so helpful, so easy to use, that you can just do them right away. It's not something where you have to like plan a lot. So take your time, do that, and I hope you are loving the session. Just to read out few comments to you, Jacqueline, because they're really beautiful. So Kanchan is saying 3 words to describe this superb session: insightful, amazing, truthful. And gratitude to Jacqueline Whitmore, love your positive vibe. So she is loving it. And Adarsh now is in wow with you because he missed out the 1998 part, and he's saying more power to you, Jacqueline. So good to have you on board today. Amazing session, Ocean says, and extremely helpful. And everyone, Shreja is loving it. Rachna says such a wonderful session. So everyone is just enjoyed the session today, and that's just really wonderful. So thank you for taking out the time and to come on board today for our Knowledge Happy Hour Season 2, to be our first presenter and share such really wonderful tips with us.
Well, I'm grateful for you, Sonia. I'm grateful for all the people who took time out of their evening to tune in and listen to us. And I'm just so happy that we're affiliated with one another. I cannot wait to come back to India. One of these days, we will meet again.
Absolutely. I can't wait to, see you in India again. And I look forward that this thing gets settled soon and we can all travel and, meet each other soon. So thank you once again, Jacqueline. And this brings, our session to an end today, our Knowledge Happy Hour. But, we are going to meet every Wednesday now. We'll try to meet every Wednesday, same time, 7:30 p.m. So our next session is on 29th, and we are bringing another speaker. So watch for the space. Do not go anywhere, because this is another international speaker and internationally recognized speaker. Also, someone who has been a part of AICI for a very long time. So I'm just going to build a little element of curiosity over here. So watch our Facebook page to know who's coming up next. And this is the next session is also going to be as phenomenal as this one. So yes, I'll see you back again next week. Thank you once again for the Knowledge Happy Hour, and take care. And attending the Knowledge Happy Hour, take care. Bye bye.